Hello and welcome to VectorPro version 9.1. 9.1 should be paired with the latest firmware. To upgrade to the latest firmware, your test stand use the Vector Instruments programmer available on our support section of our website. It may also trigger an upgrade to your load cell as well. If you are in any doubt, please contact Memezin Technical Support for assistance. Fullscreen logon is a new feature available in the Permissions tab. You can turn this on and off as and when required, and it will be useful for people who are working on a tablet to have a full screen logon. When you create a new test as well, you will see that we have the Omnitest 0.5, the 1, 2.5, the Vortex Pro and the Elixir Pro as machine options. Another addition to the operations conditions are the greater than and less than operations. These operations can be used before a jump to limit, so you can drop it in beforehand and it will monitor the condition of the test with your limit set up afterwards. And you can use either the greater than or the less than before a jump to condition limit. In the graph screen, we've got 3 new buttons under the toolbar. We've got a set home position, a clear home position, and a move to home position. Set will obviously set the home position. Move to will move it to that position. If you've set one of these and you want to get rid of it, you can use a clear home position. And during your timeline operation, what it means is it will go back to its first hard 0 rather than a predefined home position. Those are the new home position feature buttons. Another new feature that we've added is the brake detection and operations. Sometimes when you're performing operations, you don't always want to detect a brake while you're doing the operation. So we've given you the ability, when you edit each individual operation, to turn the brake detector off for that operation. The only one that actually doesn't have one, it will be the pull to brake operations where you need to detect a brake. So this enables you to remove brake detection for operations that you do not want to see a brake during the test. Now we started introducing digital I/O features. If you now go to your custom access domains where you can choose a custom access, we now have all the digital inputs. So you can create your own axis, maybe load against digital input 1. Here we'll create one of displacement against digital input 1. And this enables you to give a graphed plot of whichever axis you want against a digital signal. And you will be able to report results on those digital signals. To support the digital signal axis, we've introduced a new calculation, value at digital input. Drop this in our calculations. And here we can look at our different axis, rename it, and then we can choose our digital input that we've selected, and we can record a result of that digital input, maybe the load of that digital input. We've got the first, the last, the middle, the delta, the max and the min. So we can create multiple versions of these if we want. Next feature is the date time attribute. So what we've done under the label, we've added the ability to put a date and time. Sometimes in manufacturing, the goods will be manufactured before they are tested, but you need to know when the manufacturing date was. So we've enabled you to put the date and time, either a date, a time, or the date time, as a question to be asked of the operator before the test starts. We can now go and have a look at this in operation. So start the test, and then we have our manufacturing date label question, and you can choose a date on the calendar. You can choose your hours and your minutes to give you your result for the label attribute. Another enhancement we've made to attributes is the number attribute. So now when you create a number attribute, you're able to enter units. You're also able to create a list predefined values with units, then you can use these as part of your reporting or as part of your calculations. So we're just adding 3 different options in here, and these will be presented to the operator when they start the test. We start a quick test. See, now we've got a pull down list with our options to choose from. We've also dynamically linked number attributes, which means you can have a number attribute that you can choose and enter data in before a test. Setting one here called lower limit and upper limit. This will enable you in the results to put pass-fail tolerances based on the values that you enter in these numerical or number attributes. We go and have a look at a result. I'll put the result of maximum in. Look at that max load. And now we can enable these additional verify, and we can link them to the 2 number attributes that we created earlier on. So it will give us additional pass-fail limits on other values as well as the general verification limits. We've also got auto conversion of units. Here I'm looking at a test results and we're in newtons. I'm converting this. If I go and open the test up again and I change it to kilograms force, now it's briefly changing this to a kilograms force unit. Unit changes have also been applied to the specimen tab for your sample dimensions. So here you can see we're in millimeters. So we'll enter some values in our specimen dimensions, width and thickness, gauge length or our grip separation if needed. And then we'll change our units from millimeters to inches. Now we give you a warning here if there are any rounding errors that you might see. You can see in the gauge length one there's a slight rounding error. We are to 4 decimal places, and that's auto changing units. Of course, you can create batch sets from existing tests. Here we've got some for one test and one for another. You can copy these batch sets exactly as they are or modify them, and you can run your batch sets as usual. What we've introduced now is a different workspace called batch sets, which shows you all the batch sets that are available. There are various options on these here, and you can show completed ones. We haven't completed anyone. Incomplete ones, which is all 4 we've got here, or ones that have been cleared. So that's our workspace for batch sets, so you can just work on batches all the time. And each one has manual exporting text, copying, reporting, and then we can switch back to our default. As we've introduced workspace for batch sets, we also need permissions. So we have a new tab in permissions here, and we've got our default workspace, and we've also got our batch sets workspace, so you can drop users in there. So that's what they'll see when they log on, just the workspace with the batch sets so they can start testing. We've made some modifications to brake detection. Previously it was always a sharp brake. Now we've defaulted this to a gradual brake. So you can set your brake drop. Here we set it to 50%. So if it sees a fall over an extended or an infinite time period down to 50%. But if you want a sharp brake detection, you can turn it on here and turn it off in the operations tab. So default is infinite brake, or you can turn it on for just a sharp brake. We've modified the templates as well. Here we're going to look at template 11, but most of the features apply to the other templates as well. So we can obviously turn things on and off and select our axis as usual. And now we've got logo selection left and right justified, so we can put additional logos in if we want on both sides. And we've also given you a report title, which is a manual type-in to give you a permanent report title. We've also got the offsets on the X and Y axis. So we're looking at our graph down here. We can offset these if we need to in a report. So we'll save this. And we'll go and look at some actual data. So if we've used some tests, look at our results, do a manual report on this. You can see here is our logo and our header, and there's our tests. Now if we want to put an offset on here so it's easier to see in the report, we can, and that will offset them there by 10 on the x-axis. And those are the new features of VectorPro 9.1. Thank you for watching.